Afternoon Facebook, Laura News here. So today I wanted to just show you something that I've been working on obviously for our tenants. So payday is coming. We've had 2 early payments already, so yay! 2 early payments, but we've really been communicating as often as possible with our tenants just to make sure that if they are going to not pay, we can put a payment planning process in place, and if they are paid, great. And also kind of just speaking to them about how they're going to afford the rent potentially for the next 3 months. So I've done my little risk analysis form here. So there's no red on here at the moment. The reason there's no red, so red for me is people can't pay this month. There's quite a lot of green on there. So what green means is these are key workers or people that are already working from home. So I've got a guy who works, he's an IT consultant. He works for a big London-based company. He's always worked from home anyway, so his job isn't going to be affected, as he told me on the phone. And I have people who work for like Department of Work and Pensions. They're working from home at the moment, so a lot of people are still working from home and active. Some people who aren't actually going in, so I've got a couple of people who are self-employed, so they are orange at the moment. But they do, so I've got 2 people who are self-employed, but their partners are key workers, so they're both healthcare assistants. So they will be obviously continuing to work. Them as self-employed, I've obviously applied for the benefit, but I've just said to them, keeping in communication. One of them has told us that they've got enough savings to last them for the next 2 months, and then obviously after the 2 months they may have to have that conversation, and we can adjust their rent so they can afford to pay something each month, and then we'll add the additional on as we go. One said after this month he doesn't really know what they're going to do, but it's about speaking to them. So he spoken to his boss, and he's found some other work that potentially can do, because he works in construction. So risk analysis on your tenants. This is one of quite a few sheets. But basically it's just highlighting who is going to pay this month, by speaking to them, can they afford to pay this month? If they can afford to pay for the next 2 or 3 months, and then after that you're going to have that conversation. These people are orange. Red would be they can't afford to pay the rent this month. And I think it's really important that when you're speaking to your tenants, that you explain exactly what they may perceive a mortgage holiday to be, because what they think it is and what it actually is are 2 very different things. What I mean by that is 5 of the tenants I've spoken to, bearing in mind I've been speaking to them now, I've probably spoken to them 4 times over the last 10 days, via email, via text message, via phone. When they said, oh, well, that's no problem because I'm entitled to a rent holiday. And I said, okay, well, what does that mean to you? Well, the government said that I don't have to pay my rent for the next 3 months. No, that's not the case. What it actually means is, okay, you might not be able to afford to pay your rent for 3 months, but what this actually, in the long-term view, is you're going to actually have to add this onto your monthly payments. So your monthly payments going forward after this time are going to increase. But that's okay, because you can get a mortgage holiday. Well, actually, for me to get a mortgage holiday, that's also going to increase my monthly payments and obviously my interest rate. So I'm obviously potentially going to have to pass that on to you, because you cannot pay the rent. Once you've explained these things really clearly, they actually don't really want to take a holiday or a rent holiday, or they don't not want to pay as much as they can for their rent. So I think it's really important that you're communicating openly. And I've said to every single tenant of ours, if your situation changes, please do not hesitate to contact us. And as you can see on here, I've had 2 early payments already this month. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 orange on here. This is just our properties, not others. So these are just our properties. I've got 5 orange. This isn't them saying they can't pay. This is them saying that they've got a plan for the next 2 to 3 months. But after that, they don't really know what that's going to entail. So that's where we obviously keep in communication, and then we'll put a plan in place if it goes on that long. So I just wanted to share that with you this afternoon. If you've got a risk analysis for your tenants, this is kind of mine. I'm not a risk analysis specialist, but this is what works for me in my business right now. Hope it helps. People are still paying rent. Don't get all down and out about it, because people still want to pay their rent. If you're clear and communicate with them on a regular basis so they know exactly what they're getting into if they don't pay their rent. Because a lot of confusion around this, a lot of people are getting confused thinking that they don't have to pay rent. You've got to be clear and say they do. If they can't afford to pay it now, this is what will happen going forward. So I hope that's helped. Happy Monday. I know we're all on lockdown, but it's not all doom and gloom. So any questions on this, please feel free to get in contact with me, and enjoy your Monday.